Hi all, I have prepared slides for microservices architecture and the differences between microservices architecture and monolithic architecture and how it can be implemented in various servers and the architecture of the system. So let me walk you through the microservices architecture. So microservices architecture allows each individual service to be deployed and scaled independently. So each service is independently deployed in the application, and it can be called with the help of APIs, and it's deployable and scaled independently. So instead of this, in monolithic architecture, we have all the services deployed in one application. So if we need to redeploy a service, we have to actually redeploy whole of the application again. Instead of that, in microservices, each service can be deployed independently. We don't have to depend on other service or the application so that it can be deployed again. So that is the main difference between microservices architecture and monolithic architecture. And monolithic architecture has been used in the previously used applications, but now in the modern era, microservices architecture is being used. So let me walk you through this diagram. So here it's a simple diagram. It shows like client is actually calling the API gateway, and it is calling the microservices in the application and to the remote service. So here each service, whatever has been called, can be directly interacted between the application, and the remote service can deliver back the responses for that particular application. So that is how the monolith microservices architecture works. So these are the basic framework points for the microservices architecture. So a microservice is small enough that single small team of developers can write and maintain it, and it is, as I've told, like it is deployed independently. So each team can rebuild or redeploy the entire application instead of redeploying the whole application. It can be updated for the existing services which need to be redeployed, and it can be upgraded or maintained separately. And other than that, we have different API calls which can be made to get the details about the services. So microservices architecture are technology agnostic, but often see containers or serverless technologies used for their implementation. So mostly like Dockers, Kubernetes, and serverless technologies are used for maintaining the architecture of those services. And CI/CD can also be used for maintaining the microservices architecture. Benefits and potential challenges for the microservices architecture are like the benefits are it is small code and small teams can maintain it. It's highly scalable. Resiliency can be done. Data isolation is there. But in case of the potential challenges which are there, it is like development and testing is takes a lot of time. Lack of governance, maintenance, versioning, management skill set is difficult to find. So these are the common challenges which are actually there for microservices architecture. When should you choose a microservices architecture? When large applications are there and complex applications are there and it needs to be highly scalable. In those cases, we can go for microservices architecture, and many subdomains are there in the application. Then also we can go for microservices architecture. An organization that consists of small development teams, there also we can go for microservices architecture. So each service which can be independently deployed can be taken up as microservices in a microservices architecture, and if it is a bulk application, it can be independently deployed, and in smaller cases it can be handled. What is a monolithic application? Monolithic application is like it's like all the architecture software architecture of all the components are actually built and deployed as a single unit, and it was used in the previous delivery system. So scaling the application is not easily available in case of monolithic architecture. So that's why we go for microservices architecture. Disadvantages are operational agility, cost, scalability, performance are some of the factors which are there for monolithic applications. So that's why we go for microservices architecture. Scaling a monolithic or microservices. One of the benefits for microservices architecture is to increase scaling capabilities because services are separated. It is easier scale each service individually as load increases across them. But in case of monolithic architecture, it is really individually. It requires whole of the system resources to be uh, actually scaled up in case of monolithic architecture. So guys, this is the major slides which I had covered for monolithic and microservices architecture. If you like it, please subscribe and like the video. Thank you.